All right, guys, we're back for round two here. Steel City and Sin City selections. Um, Coming off a pretty good showing last week. We don't like to brag, but you can take a look and see how well we did. If you're watching us, you would have profited. So yeah, check us out. So I know we're new to the new kids on the block, and we may not get out there just yet with our word, but somebody's going to catch on and make some money, then spread the word for us. What do you think, Jody? Jody's now moved in. He's in boxes, or he's in out of boxes, but here he is.
Yeah, 100% in Vegas now, but still don't have the nice fancy background that you have. But next week we'll be ready to rock, Ed. So 100% in Vegas now, and really excited to be here.
Story behind my background. That is actually in Pittsburgh. So that's when we had our one UFC show in the arena and stuff. So
you need to
we can get
back
another.
You need them to put you back on the circuit there. That's a good venue. Yeah.
I know. And we have all the wrestlers.
I like this though. We're going to talk a little post weigh-in, so we have a little more information than we did last week.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. I just got done watching some Bellator, the end of some Bellator, saw some of the highlights. Was happy with that. And like I said, maybe in the future we'll put some Bellator in there. Bellator is mainly you got to piece together some parlays because a lot of times it's a lot of juice. All right.
Yep.
All right, here we go. Fight one. We got if I butcher any names tonight, all right, don't kill me too much. But we got Nascimento versus Alan Badeau. I'll start it off. I'm going Nascimento. I like him. I think he's gonna, put him away. Make a good start for the night. The odds, what are the odds? Minus 300 some. So I'll probably piece him in there with something else a little bit as well, just to kill some juice and everything. What do you think, Jody?
Yeah, I like Nascimento as well. It's an interesting fight though, Ed, because both of these guys were overwhelmed by two up-and-coming heavyweights in their last outings. If you remember, Chris Daukaus just destroyed Nascimento, and Tom Aspinall destroyed Badeau, both first-round KOs.
Yeah, I think that we're getting to see how good Daukaus kind of is. So.
Yeah. So I definitely think Nascimento's the side, but I think this is one of those violence plays, Ed. If you look at the line, so Nascimento's a minus 350, and basically it stayed relatively flat. But if you just take fight doesn't go the distance, it's minus 400. So you're paying a little bit more juice, but you're getting both sides, and you know darn well this thing isn't getting to the cards. But Doe does have a little bit of pop in his hands, and if he lands something early, I could see Nascimento folding up just like he did against Daukaus. I'm not saying Badeau's Chris Daukaus by any stretch, but I think this thing ends. I think it ends no later than the second round. And to pay a little bit more juice at the minus 400, and it doesn't matter who wins, that's the way I went. I already placed that bet.
I agree wholeheartedly on that as well.
And actually, it's part of that fight not going the distance is part of a parlay that I have, a 2-leg parlay that I have with a fighter later on in the card.
Nice. I will probably tell along with you for sure once I check that out and stuff. See what happens tomorrow. I'm not gonna do anything tonight. We're recording kind of late my time, still kind of early Jody's time.
Interesting stat on that one, Ed. Before we go to the next fight, on the fight not going the distance, all last 5 fights for each one of those fighters finished. Did not go to the cards. They were either finished or they did the finishing. So 10 combined fights, all finishes one way or the other.
The odds are in the favor. That is for sure. Yep. All right, next fight. We got the bad Figgy here against Malcolm Gordon. I do not like the fight. The only thing I like about the fight is someone's going to get lit up, and it probably will not last, and it probably will not go the distance. I honestly, if I was going to bet on an individual fighter, I probably would have to go one-on-one without a parlay in there involved. I would probably go Gordon just because I just don't think this Figueiredo is any good. So I don't know. What do you think? I guess I should have let you lead this one off. My bad. You get the next two.
No worries. How in the world is anyone betting Francisco Figueiredo at minus 315?
Oof.
how is anyone laying that chalk on, unless they're confusing him for his brother? I don't know. I know Gordon has a suspect chin, but let's face it, his last two losses are against Sue Madarji and Amir Albazi. Those guys are the real deal.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
So I don't, I mean, yeah, that chin's a little worrisome, but I'll tell you, if Gordon implements the wrestling and gets he could sub Figueiredo out.
Yeah,
And
he needs a
I'm
win, or
I
he could be gone. This will be his third.
well, and that's just it. I'm not betting either side. I'm with you. If I were
Yeah,
to bet an individual, it'd be taking the plus 255 on Gordon instead of the minus 315 on Figueiredo. But this is another one. I played it, fight not going the distance at minus 185.
I think that's probably the safest.
Yep.
Safest.
Yep.
And hey, we all know how I feel about this guy here who
Yeah.
he beat.
Yeah. And he couldn't he
Not
couldn't
good.
he couldn't finish him. He couldn't
Yeah,
finish him.
not good. So, we saw what happened last week to Mr.
Yeah.
Rivera. So.
I think the glass jaw of Gordon is either going to shatter or Gordon will sub Figueiredo, and it's not going to the cards.
I agree. All right, third fight. We're gonna let you do this one to lead off. Dos Santos versus Miles Johns.
Yep.
Interested to hear your
So
take on this.
yeah, so I really like Miles Johns in this matchup.
Oh, I like
I
hearing
really
that.
do. So I know minus 180 isn't the most attractive straight money line bet, but I've already bet that. And I also added another piece, Ed. I added the fight not going the distance plus 150 here. So, getting plus money, Miles Johns, I don't know if you saw that in the Kevin Natividad fight. He folded him up like an accordion with an uppercut.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, put him out cold. And I just think that these guys, Anderson dos Santos, his last win was against Martin Day, where Martin Day was actually piecing him up on the feet, and he went for a takedown for some reason and stuck his head right into a guillotine. So it just didn't,
Yeah.
that's more of Martin Day's fight IQ or lack thereof, as opposed to Anderson dos Santos's
And I
skill.
had Martin Day.
Yep, I did as well. I did as well. And never again. Martin Day's not even in the UFC anymore.
Yeah.
But here's the way I see this playing out. Miles Johns either KOs him in the first or second round. Miles Johns can tend to gas a little bit. And if he's up 2 rounds to none, dos Santos is going to be like a bat out of hell going for a finish. So I don't see it going to the cards. And at plus 150, I took that, but I also took Miles Johns at minus 180 because I think the more likely side of this is Miles Johns.
Yeah, I agree. I threw him in a parlay immediately. Probably looking to put a little small play on him as well. But, like I said, I got some built in already from the Bellator card. So as I told you privately there, I'm free rolling a little bit.
Yeah. And let's not forget, dos Santos is now 35 years old too.
Yeah.
So, the chins don't age well. So we'll see.
All right, fourth fight. We're gonna let you do this one again. Khalid Taha against Sergey Morozov.
Yep. So Morozov's everyone's live dog this week. Everyone's betting him, including me. I bet him. Unfortunately, I bet him late. I got him at the plus 130 number, where I could have had him earlier at plus 150, plus 155. So I was actually thinking more money would come in on Taha, but it's poured in on Morozov.
Yeah.
I think, I think the line was set with a little bit of recency bias because of the Umar Nurmagomedov fight against Morozov. But if you watch that fight, Ed, Morozov he was faring pretty well on the feet, and he was doing okay with the grappling and the scrambling. Problem was he gave up his back, and against anyone with the name of Nurmagomedov, if they have your back, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
So
OV always.
that's what happened. And now Taha, I don't think has that ground game by any stretch of the imagination. I think Morozov's the taller fighter, the rangier fighter, and I think he's going to be the faster fighter. Taha has a thick Big head though. We're not going to see a KO here. I think this is a Morozov 29-28. I'm not going to bet fight goes the distance. I just took the plus money on Morozov at plus 130.
Yeah, we got to reach 5'5", 69 inches, and Morozov is a little bit. Both
5'6", 67. Yeah.
Yeah. What you expect out of their weight class, I guess. But, yeah, I will follow along with you on that. I do like that pick as well. Haven't really gone into depth on that fight, but I don't mind blindly following you on that.
And I had that one lined up when the line came out, but I honestly thought money would pour in on Taha, but it didn't. Money. So Morozov's everyone's underdog darling this week. So that cost us a better line, but I still think at plus 130, there's a ton of value there.
Yeah, and I like these 2 letters at the end of his name, so makes it a little more assuring. All right, on to our first ladies match of the night. Amanda Lemos against I just looked at her and just Ruiz, which had a nice little entrance today in the face-offs for everyone, I guess. She's minus 500, Lemos.
Yeah.
So I mean, it is what it is. My little parlay piece maybe and put her in because I'm not going to put 500 to win 100 on a girl fight. I'll put something small and try to make some even money on her, but she's just a little parlay filler, if anything. And she should win, obviously. But stranger things happen in women's MMA. Just looking at some of her stuff. What's your take on this one?
No, this is the second leg of that parlay I was talking about earlier. Ed. I have the Nascimento Badeau not going the distance parlayed with Lemos. I think minus 500 is an awful lot to pay, but she dominates everywhere this fight goes. If Ruiz tries that crazy headlock toss and like she did against Cheyenne Bays, Lemos will take her back and choke her out. And I don't know if you watched that fight with Lemos against Liviana Souza. She knocked her out with a power jab.
Yeah.
She throws hands and she has speed and power, great grappling. She's the larger fighter here. I think she's 4 inches taller, 4 or 5 inches taller, much larger reach. And Ruiz came in light today, 113.5. So she's just a much smaller girl in the cage, and I think Lemos just dominates.
She looked good at the weigh-in too.
Yep. So maybe I'm not afraid to toss that minus 500 into a parlay, a 2-leg parlay. With those two together, got me down around minus 200, which I'm perfectly comfortable with.
Yeah, I'll be sticking with her. Like I said, maybe she'll give us some eye candy or something. Look at pre-match or something. Because post-match, she may not.
As long as it lasts, anyway, right?
All right.
I actually think this is one of those fights too, Ed. I didn't take it, but it's even money that the fight does not go the distance. I think Lemos finishes her.
I agree on that.
So if someone wanted to just play a straight bet and not parlay and not lay the minus 500 chalk, you could literally take this thing not going the distance, get even money on it, and still come out a pretty good winner.
Yeah, I agree there with you. All right, fight 6. Let me see. I started this one off. So you got D-Rod versus Parsons here. This one's yours.
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense to take the D-Rod side, but I'll be honest, Ed, I haven't bet it, and I don't think I'm going to. Something about D-Rod, I don't know. Something about his fight IQ, I'm not a fan of. He's good on the feet. He's good on the ground, but he lost that Nick Dalby fight. I don't know that he really lost it. I mean, I had him winning. I had him in a parlay that night too. Maybe I'm just a little bitter about that night, but fighting this guy coming in who, he's 8 years younger. Preston Parsons is 8 years younger. You get 2.5 to 1 on your money. And, his last 4 he subbed his opponent. Now, granted, you're not fighting D-Rod caliber fighters where he was fighting.
Yeah.
His last 4 fights, 4-0, 4 subs. So, and they sized up very well today at face-off. D-Rod's a little bit bigger, but man, Parsons is thick.
Yeah, he looked good. He did look good.
Yeah. So there's always that element of the unknown, and if you're going to lay minus 300, I went the other way. I didn't bet Parsons, but I took the fight does not go the distance, Ed. Minus 275, a little bit better than D-Rod straight up. And if that crazy sub happens on the Parsons side, I still cash that ticket. But the more likely outcome is the kid gasses out in the first after takedown attempt after takedown attempt. He took it on short notice, and then D-Rod probably KOs him in the second or third round after he starts to gas. Is probably what
Yeah,
happened.
you know what? When you take a look at D-Rod, I've already included him in like I said, he's in a little bit of a parlay action as well for me. Um, which fights here? Okay, so he beat Tim Means,
He did. He did.
which
It was a weird. It was a
yeah,
weird standing guillotine. Actually, it looked a lot like that Zalgaz Zumagulov and Jerome Rivera choke. Is what it looked like.
yeah, yeah. This fight here, I for some reason I do not remember it, or if I do remember it, it must have been pretty one-sided for D-Rod. Did he win all
Yeah.
three rounds? I think.
Yeah.
Then we all know this one.
Yeah.
This
It was a
fight here with
30-27. Yeah.
yeah, with the Grant fight, that was the one we all thought he was gonna die on, and then he
Yeah.
came back to
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
It was a very interesting fight. One of the most interesting fights probably of the decade.
Yeah.
Then this fight here, I thought he won, and Mike
I did too.
Perry. Maybe you and I could beat Mike Perry right
Yeah,
now.
everyone beats Mike Perry these days, except senior citizens in bars. They have
Yeah,
trouble with him.
yeah, that was an interesting video too.
I just I don't know, Ed. I think after we lost and we weren't able to cash that ticket with him against Nick Dalby, I struggle to lay minus 300 on D-Rod. I do.
Yeah, yeah, it's good salary. I'm just obviously I still got him in the parlay, but it's
Yeah,
it's nothing crazy. Well, if I hit, I'll be happy,
sure.
um, but we'll see how it plays out and stuff. I like your fight doesn't go the distance either because I do see somebody definitely getting finished there with that.
Yeah, yeah. It's safer. You actually pay a little less juice too at minus 275 than you would on D-Rod straight up.
Yeah. All right, round 7, Billy Q versus Benitez, Gabriel Benitez. Um, I like Benitez. The line, I guess, is not going the way. Well, it's going my way, but sometimes you get a little nervous whenever you see, something swing like that. I just wasn't, something was off. Maybe Billy Q was not whatever. It's like more of a gut feeling. Whenever he went against Gavin Tucker, he looked all right and showed all right. But Spike Carlisle was one of these fights. He had the win on.
Yep.
Really not too impressive there. Benitez, I mean, I think who he fought last.
Justin
Justin James.
James.
Yeah, that's what it was. Not real. Not a quality. Justin James is not that good. He may be a poor gambler too. He's the one that didn't he bet his whole.
Yeah, he bet on himself.
At least he bet on himself.
Yep.
But you know, these losses here aren't bad
Sadiq
losses.
stuff. Yusuf's pretty tough.
Yeah, so I'm gonna stick with my Benitez pick. Just as more of a gut feeling. I just think he's gonna win. I mean, I don't know what your feeling is right now.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Ed, I'm kicking myself for not grabbing Billy Q when he was at plus 190 when the line opened. I love Billy Q in this spot at that price, not
Yeah,
so much at the current plus 135 or wherever he's sitting now. Um, Billy Q is one of those guys. I don't think he's great at anything, but one thing he does, he has a good gas tank, keeps pushing forward, and he'll fight for your money.
oh yeah,
He's one of those guys that he will just keep fighting. Even against Gavin Tucker, he was being outclassed. He was still throwing late in the third round, just giving it everything he had to try to get it done.
yeah,
I have bet and won on Billy Q. I passed this time around. I passed on this entire fight. I'm not sure what's going to happen. I I I think it goes to the cards. I think it's going to be a 29-28 one way or the other. The leg kicks of Benitez scare me to death and scare me off of the minus or the plus 135 on Billy Q. I think he could chop him up for a round, and then that lead leg's going to be a mess.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's going to be able to point his way back into it, Billy Q. So I I have a slight lean your way. The line certainly now more favorable, down around minus 165 for Benitez.
Yeah.
So, I think that's favorable. But I'm going to do a hard pass on this entire fight. Not gonna put a dime on it.
All right. Respectable. All right. Moving along here. Do a little backtracking here.
Should be a good fight to watch. It'll be a fun one to watch.
Yeah. This one here is yours. Rudolfo, who we just saw, Vieira. It seems
Ugh,
like just like 2 weeks ago, but I mean,
I
it's
know it. I
longer
know
than
it.
that. He
So
lasted.
I doubt he's done much to fix that gas tank.
Yeah.
Uh, so I had a bet on Vieta against Fluffy. And I thought, and we got him down, and I thought, all right, we're just going to cash this ticket in the first minute and a half of this fight. And my goodness, Ed, I don't think I've ever seen anyone gas out the way he did, and he just became a human punching bag. He couldn't even hold his hands up to defend himself.
He went from the dominator to the dominated.
Yep. And not only did Fluffy win, not only did Fluffy finish him, but he subbed the black belt Hunter. That's what he calls himself.
Yeah.
So now, fast forward to this fight, he's still a minus 220 favorite. I don't know how anyone in their right mind, after what they saw against Hernandez, how you could ever lay minus 220 on this guy. I bet Dustin Stoltzfus. I got him at plus 190. And I also bet the fight does not go the distance at minus 250 because Vieta could sub him out in the first 2 or 3 minutes. If he doesn't, Stoltzfus is going to knock his ass out.
Oh yeah.
So, and I'll be honest with you, I think Stoltzfus is a better fighter than Fluffy Hernandez. So I think this is a step up in competition for Vieta.
Yeah.
Stoltzfus went 3 tough rounds against Kyle Dawkins. He lost, but he was doing well in the grappling exchanges with a pretty good grappler. And listen, Stoltzfus has some hands. He's going to
Yeah.
be faster than Rodolfo. Rodolfo's all power. He's going to, if he lets him get him down, get him into the clinch early, it could be trouble. But if he just survives like Fluffy Hernandez did and gets out of the third or fourth minute, Ed, this has Stoltzfus written all over it.
I agree. I agree. This is Stoltzfus, or definitely dog or passes.
Yeah, I
One
already
way.
bet it. I took the dog money, and I bet fight does not go the distance. Taking that to not so much hedge it, Ed, but I think reinforce that. I think Stoltzfus probably TKOs him in the second round
Yeah.
if
Tell you what,
Vieta doesn't finish in the first.
right here, this was. I remember this fight.
Yeah,
I cashed on it. You could play it, and I was very happy. Man, he
yeah,
slammed that arm was
sure did. He sure did. But if
compromised.
you, if, but if you look back at his time, though, look, rear naked choke, guillotine, twister. He's not a slouch on the ground.
No, no, he's well rounded. That's for sure.
So I feel pretty good about that bet.
All right, next fight. We got some Gamrot versus Stevens. My son and I were just talking about this. I wish we'd have got the Stevens from a few years back to go at this fight, just to see what
Yeah.
it'd been. I'm definitely going to go Gamrot. It breaks my heart to say it, but I mean Stevens is always live, but I just don't see it happening. And I kind of think this one could not go the distance either. I'm not too sure what you think, but I'm going to go Gamrot for sure, and I'm going to weigh it in on later on. Possibly more decide if I want to do a little bit. Does not go the distance.
Yeah. I bet both, and I did take the fight does not go the distance minus 155. That's a great line here because
Yeah,
Jeremy Stevens has some power too.
Oh yeah.
So I like that line. I did also bet Gamrot. I'm happy I waited. He opened at minus 265. He's down around minus 210 now.
I
So
think
money
that's
is
that appeals. Stevens is he's
fan
a
favorite, fan
yeah.
favorite. So money is poured in on Jeremy Stevens. And I love the Gamrot side here at minus 215. I actually think he finishes Stevens. And, you know, eh, a lot of people, they were split on that split decision that he lost against Kutateladze, but he just didn't get started early enough. He took his time, was too patient, and gave up that first round. But I think Gamrot clearly won the second and third. I still think he should have won that fight. But I think it was just a matter of some nerves. That was his first UFC fight. And Kutateladze is a tough opponent, too. Let's not,
Yeah.
take that off the table. But I love Gamrot's game. He could take this thing to the ground and dominate, but I think he can dominate on the feet, too. I look for him to finish Stevens with less than 3 rounds.
Yeah, Stevens, he's on a bit of a tailspin right now himself. But I mean, it's not like
He's
he's
30,
facing,
35 years old, Ed. He's 35.
and he's not facing bad guys, but he's taking a lot of punishment. If
Yep.
you take a look at what's going on here with some of these, these fighters and stuff that he's fought, I mean,
Well, here I think he's making, here he's a 35-year-old fighter. He's 0-4 with an additional no contest in his last 5. And what's he doing? He's stepping up to 155.
uh,
So now he's stepping up a weight class. I don't know that power translates up a weight class either, Ed.
yeah, just look at these
For-
names that I've scrolled down here through. I mean, he's fought
Oh, the
the
who's who.
who's, yeah, and look how long he's been fighting. I mean,
Yep.
we're still going back here. This is where it all started. UFC 76,
Yep.
2007. Whew, that's a lot of. And you take a look at these names the whole way up. It is name after name after name after name. But I think we're going to see that red box this time.
Well, look at the last 5, Ed. That's very telling. Look at that. 4 losses and a no contest.
Well, this one here, I'm trying to remember this fight. Josh Emmett, we all know,
He's tough.
oh yeah, he's a scrapper. I mean, and who did he just fight? He just fought
Yeah, Burgos.
yeah, that was a war.
Yep,
You
it was a
know.
great fight. It was over a year ago now. Hard to believe, but
Yeah,
that was a great fight.
exactly. I actually can't wait to watch him fight again. It should be coming up too. He should be due to
Yeah, I think he had an injury that he's just recovering from. That's why it's been a little while. So
probably a broken hand.
yeah, right.
uh,
But no, I love the Gamrod side here, Ed, and I think he finishes. I'm taking the fight does not go the distance as well, and
yeah,
adding that to minus 155. I think that's a great price.
yeah. Gamrot's one of my picks. Like I feel really solid on. All right, Marion Renault against
Hmm.
the old lady here, huh? Still looks all right though. Saw the
Yep.
weigh in. Misha Tate. This one is all yours. The
Hard to believe, Ed. So Misha's coming back after a 5-year layoff. She's 34 years old, but she's still 10 years younger than her opponent.
yeah,
Renault's 44, 0-4, I believe, in her last 4. And this is her retirement fight. She's already said this is her last fight. So you have someone with 1 foot out the door, and you have someone trying to put 1 foot back in it. Misha Tate, 2 kids since her last fight. How's that changed her mindset? What is this
how
a
does the body
paycheck?
respond?
How's the body respond? Obviously she looked good at weigh-ins, so she did fine there. But where is her head really at? Is it a paycheck, or is she really trying to come back and fight? You know how it goes, that a lot of times these people take that time off. The way they were winning fights before doesn't always translate 5 years later because the game has changed. What's going to save her here is, though, the game hasn't changed much for Marion Renault. If she would have been fighting some of the opponents Renault has fought recently, like a Macy Chiasson or someone like that, I'd probably take the opposite side. I I don't like. I mean, money is poured in on Tate. She opened at a -125. I think she's now down to a -145, -150. Again, she's a fan favorite. This is probably the opening line was probably the right one, -125. But I can't find the window on the other side either. I can't go and put my money at a +130 on Marion Renault. I can't do it at 44, retirement fight. But what I did do, I put a pretty significant bet on this fight going the distance,
Yeah.
minus 275. I don't think either one. Listen, if you can say one thing about Renault, she's tough. She's
Oh,
going to
yeah.
keep coming. She's going to keep coming. Going to keep coming. But I don't think she can finish Tate either. I think Tate most likely wins a 29-28 here. That's how I would see it play out. But I'm looking forward to cashing that fight going the distance ticket.
Yeah. I'm all over Misha for sure, but to win it in the
Are
fight
you going to
goes,
bet her on the money? Are you going to bet her on the money line?
I don't know just yet. I still gotta weigh that out. Maybe for something to watch.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, add some excitement to it.
Yeah.
I'll give you this though. This fight right here, when she faced Ronda,
Yep.
I was there. I was at that fight.
Yeah. Yep.
Columbus. And this is right around the time of the Arnold Classic. About the
That's
same
right.
time they put that
That's
on
right.
there. And I
Yep.
believe this was the title. Yeah, this is for the belt.
Yep.
Ronda beat her.
Yep.
It was an interesting fight for a little bit. Then there
Yep.
was an arm bar, of
Well,
course.
I mean, that was her MO. I mean, she was arm barring everyone.
Well,
But I think it's interesting though. Her last fight, I think it was against Raquel Pennington, if I'm not mistaken,
it was.
and or no, Jessica.
No, it was Pennington. This was here. This was a
Oh, that's a
grappling.
grappling bout. That's right. Yeah, it was Raquel Pennington. I expected the loss against Nunez. She quit in that fight against Pennington.
Yeah.
And then she quit after. That's when she announced her retirement, that she's done.
Yeah.
But she looked miserable in that fight. Now,
Look, she had 2 good wins here. I
Yeah.
mean, 3 really when you
Sarah
look at
McMahon,
it.
choked
this is
out
when
Holly Holm.
Jessica I was still kind of respectable. This is 2015, but they were good.
Yeah.
Like these girls are good fighters. Of course,
But that loss to Raquel Pennington sticks out to me, Ed. And now I'm just wondering, when you say, "Hey, is she going to be as good as she was?" Well, how good was she?
Yeah.
5 years ago, and you lose unanimous decisions to Raquel Pennington.
Yeah.
Look, guess who she beat last? The opponent that Tate's fighting, right? 44
MMA math.
Yeah. So, I wouldn't bet either side of it. I see Tate winning probably, but I think even though the line is not overly wide, I think it's too wide. I think the opening line was right. -125. That was where the value was. I don't see any value on either side right now. That's why I just bet this thing is going the distance. And we'll see someone's name called out, most likely Tate, 29-28.
Yeah. Someone's going to lose a 7, so it's the safest play.
Yep.
All right, last one, just 11 on this one. We got Islam. Oh boy, Makachev. I get that right?
Yeah, Makachev. Yeah, close enough.
Close enough. And Tiago Moises. This one I am probably staying away from. Too much juice there. I don't care if he's Habib's buddy or brother or whatever he wants to call him or not. But I hear it. So I'm staying away. I'm passing. I'll take over. I'll be back.
So I just have to, my thing is with this fight, I -700 in a men's UFC fight, Ed, is just -700. I can't do it.
Oh, Jody, I had some -1200 sprinkled in today.
Well, but that's Bellator though. That's Bellator.
Yeah, but it was very.
This is
the girl made it
a
interesting.
but this is a minus 700 men's UFC fight main event.
Yeah, that's what I said that to my son earlier today. I said, I don't understand it. This is the main event.
This is recency bias. This is recency bias. So he was a minus 400 against Drew Dober. Okay. Drew Dober is a fish out of water on his back, where Moises has some game on the ground.
Yeah.
The only thing Drew Dober has is power. Yet you're going to say he should be minus 700 against Thiago Moises, but only a minus 400 against Drew Dober. The line makes no sense. No sense at all. I'll be honest, I didn't bet any of this. I didn't bet a dime on any part of this fight. But if I were, I would go to the window at nearly plus 500 on Thiago Moises. Thiago Moises is going to be the better, more versatile striker. Yeah. For as long as this thing stays on the feet, Thiago Moises will have an advantage. Now,
hey, and this kid here was supposed to be the whatever, this Hernandez kid.
Yep.
Bobby Green,
He was on a 3-fight win streak, I think, Bobby Green, going into that fight.
Michael Johnson, you never know what you're gonna get out of Michael Johnson, but
yeah.
So
but
yeah.
But I'm telling you, Ed, I don't. This isn't going to be. So Makhachev has an unbelievable 70% takedown effective rate, takedown percentage. That's unbelievable. I mean, he knows how to get someone to the ground.
Yeah.
But Drew Dober laid on his back when that happened, accepted it. Thiago Moises will not. He'll be fishing for submissions.
Oh, yeah.
He'll understand how to get out of difficult spots. And like I said, I think he's the superior striker. And I'm really struggling. So, Khabib was a minus 700 one time in his career. It was against Al La Quinta, right? Yeah. So are we saying that this is as competitive as the Khabib La Quinta fight? Come on. Anyone paying minus 700 is a fool, in my opinion. I'm sorry, guys. All you out there paying it, laying that chalk. But minus 700 on a UFC main event men's fight after he was just a minus 400 against an inferior fighter in his last bout.
Wow.
It's a foolish bet. And even putting him into a parlay, Ed, what's minus 700 getting you anyway? Why risk it?
A Big Mac. What is what I'm trying to go back to what were the odds? He was getting, what was his odds against Hernandez?
He's cashed 2 tickets as under a plus 255 and a plus 185 his last 2 outings.
Ooh.
Against Hernandez, he was a plus 185, and against Bobby Green, he was a plus 255.
If I go into the main event and I'm up a little bit, I will probably sprinkle a little bit just for giggles. I'm not going to make it an official play, but I'll probably dust it a little bit with Moises.
Yeah, I mean you're getting 5 to 1 on your money, just on the money line.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I don't see it. Ed. Listen, if I'm just picking the pick and the line were even, I'd take Makhachev all day.
Yeah.
This is not an even line. It's way too wide. Now, I will say, I don't know if you saw the weigh-ins today. Makhachev is significantly bigger than Moises. There's a huge, huge size advantage here. But I just, this line is far too wide, in my opinion. And I would never put any money on a minus 700 in this situation.
Nah, I ain't part of it. Well, that's about it for this week. We're a little bit late. I had some stuff going on. Had to take care of some stuff. Jody's busy and stuff, but we got to try to get them out earlier. We were trying to get it out Wednesday, and didn't get it. But
big card next week. Sandhagen Dillashaw. That'll be a fun card to break down.
Ooh, boy, my son and I were talking about that one. He likes Dillashaw, and I don't know, Sandhagen. He can one hit you.
Man, Sandhagen has a lot of steam coming, so it'll be interesting. I need to dig into it a little bit more, but Yeah, that'll be a fun card to break down. There's some good fights on that card.
Yeah, so that will definitely be good. So, well, I tell you what, also, we don't have a whole lot of followers, but we'll also put our final plays up on the Twitter, on Twitter and stuff. And Steel City and our Steel City and Sin City Selections is the Twitter. Just start typing in and you'll find us. It will pop up, or do the search on Twitter. Like I said, not a whole lot of followers yet. We still got to get our name out there. Once we start hitting and everything, we'll go from there. But final plays, we want to cap over that and then we'll end it.
Yep, sounds
Yeah.
good.
I'll go first. I'll get mine out of the way. Definitely got to get Nascimento here and fight not to go the distance. I'm passing on this one right now. I'm going to go Miles Johns. I like Miles Johns. I'm going to include Lemos in a parlay, probably with some D-Rod action.
Yep.
I like Benitez as well. For me, if I go anything, nothing official yet, I'll put it on Twitter if I do. I like Stoltzfus, just out of that value. I do like Gamrot. And these last two, I'm right now passing on. It's your stuff now.
Yeah, I already have all my actions already in. So these are official. I have Nascimento Badeau fight not going the distance parlayed with Amanda Lemos. I have Figueiredo Gordon not going the distance. I have Miles Johns on the money line, and I have the Dos Santos Johns fight not going the distance for plus money. I have Sergey Morozov as an underdog play. I wish I'd have gotten him earlier, but I didn't. But I do have him on the money line. I have, as I mentioned, Lemos parlayed with the fight not going the distance in the opening fight. I have D-Rod and Preston Parsons not going the distance, official play. I made a bet on Dustin Stoltzfus on the money line, and I also took that fight not going the distance against Vieira. I have Gamrot on the money line, and I have that fight not going the distance. And I have Tate Renault fight goes the distance, and a complete pass on the main event. I will just be kicking back and enjoying that carnage. I think it might be more interesting than the minus 700 might say it will be.
Yeah. I mean, you guys can do your own little calculations. All those sites and stuff. You can throw Islam in there and see what he can do for you. If you just want to need that degenerate action. I mean, I would put him in, but if you just want some, just have that action. Say you have action on the last card, or the last fight of the card. But I mean, it doesn't do you that much good though. So, all right. I think that's it. Unless you got anything to add.
No, that's it. Looking forward to the fights. I think this is a good card. It's going to be an entertaining one. And like I said, next week's is a really good card. So we'll be getting out a little earlier next week, and look forward to keep giving you guys good quality content.
All righty. Sounds good. We'll see you guys hopefully sooner. Follow us on Twitter. Find us.
Absolutely.
We'll have to do a screenshot and bring it up there. And once we figure out everything, put our links and stuff on there once we get more official, I guess.
Yep.
All right. Until the next time.